again, scores again.
That's right. Mohamed Kudus in top form. He's been nominated for Premier League Player of the Month for December. So we'll see what happens. I think fans can vote for him. So you can go there and try and vote for him, of course. But my guests are all seated. Okay, they're seated right here on the show. Let me introduce you to them. Sitsofe Atsirim is here with me. Sitso, how are you?
That's
right. How are you?
I'm great.
I love you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's good to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
2024 is a brand new year. It's the year we finally end the AFCON hoodoo. It's the year Ghana finally wins the AFCON. Say amen.
I don't say amen to everything.
What kind of life is that?
Yeah, amen be faith, man. I don't have faith in it.
Mr. Gary Asmith is here as well. Gary, how you doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year. You all right?
Yes.
Very good, huh? Muftawu Nabila Abdullahi is also here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you too?
Very well, Muftawu.
I mean, since Muftawu put on social media himself,
I know. We will let him tell us what
exactly happened. Listeners,
about what?
You posted it. What do you mean about
since
what?
You posted
I posted many things.
What happened
you did
to
not
you
post many things. There's only one thing that stood out.
in the last week?
Muftawu Nabila posted on social media that he was attacked by some hoodlums.
Oh, please.
All right.
You cannot discuss that because
No, but you put it on social media.
No,
Yeah,
you see, there are some
comment-
things that are very important. Okay, the public protection is better than any kind of protection you can get from anywhere.
Exactly.
So if that's why you put it on social. So when the public is aware, they are on the lookout. That the police alone, they can't. The public is the most important entity in all of this. So it's information we put out.
now kind of you go Joe.
And joining us on Zoom is Mr. Daniel Cranston. Charlie, what's happening?
Still chopping the birthday.
We are winning the AFCON this year.
Sitso, say amen.
Are you serious?
Sitso, say amen. Have you seen Jordan's numbers? We are winning.
Which ones? The defensive ones?
No. Most fouls won. Most dribbles completed. That's what we used to win the AFCON.
I saw Gary's exercise on social media. Wow.
Look, it's been a very long time I went on a sustain to debate anything.
I know. You had some energy.
But some of the things I found out quite weird. Sometimes people often think that your opinion is based on the person paying you.
Somebody said they pay Gary.
Charlie, somebody said, maybe, how you do
funny.
If it's that easy to get paid by athletes, all of you out there should go get paid.
Like by now,
go get paid.
Like by now, Jordan, are you buy Daniel Cranston Lamborghini?
Tahiru.
And Danny's on the line.
No, he said he's talking.
Nah, he's talking. Right?
He said what?
You know the funny. If Gary or myself were constantly posting stats of Kudus Mohammed, they will say, "Oh, it's true." But because you know in your small corner don't agree with what I'm saying, then it means that what I'm saying is based on money. What kind of class 2 thinking is that?
The logic doesn't add up.
It's not legit.
The logic doesn't add up.
It's so embarrassing sometimes, but we understand that not everybody had quality basic education. So some people would think in some ways that
relax.
Oh no, it is true.
The year has already started. The violence you are starting with.
You see, Tahiru, I'm stating facts. It's not about, this is not personal, but it is true. When somebody says something and the person backs it up with facts, like what Gary was doing yesterday, and then the first thing you can do is to say that he's being paid to do what he does, then you know that the person's thinking is rocky. There's something wrong with the thinking.
Yeah,
and it is true, our educational system is flawed. So you can easily attribute it to that.
Then you're attacking Ministry of Education.
The same system that taught you. Oh God. Yeah. Anyway, Daniel, welcome to the show. But yeah, I agree. Like, people do that a lot. We beg you, okay? If you disagree, you disagree. And journalists are not superhuman. We are better placed to have access to information. That is true. So when somebody puts out an opinion and they back it up with facts, your conclusion should not be is that because they are strongly supporting a certain opinion and backing their opinion with facts, it means that they have been paid to do so. Because in your estimation, somebody in their right minds should not be supporting or backing Jordan Ayew. In your wisdom, he cannot be supported. So if you are supporting him, then it means that there's a problem.
Someone called me a traba bigot because I was backing Barama because we are all from the northern country. I found that quite weird.
I was blamed one time for Baba Aman's poor performance, they said it was my tweet that influenced his call-up. Because I went to tweet that Baba Aman was balling in Greece. Somebody's first response, Momo has landed. Oh! So now we can't tweet anything because you have been paid. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. There's only one place I want us to cover a lot of bases today. Gary, one of the biggest stories was broken 2 days ago. In fact, you were the one that put out the first graphic. SuperSport obviously announcing that they will not be broadcasting the Africa Cup of Nations, and this is the first time that's happening in ever. Thank you very much.
Since the SuperSport was set up.
Thank you. And it got a lot of people worried. I'm sure you saw the comments under your. People went crazy, like people went wild. Okay, and this is pay TV. We at multimedia, we do free to wear, so we are
the poor people.
We are the poor people. Okay, we are the poor people. But the news wasn't the news about SuperSport's non-coverage of the competition wasn't even the biggest deal. The biggest deal perhaps was why they went or where the rights went to New World TV. And there's lots of people that are thinking, who the heck? Who is that? Like, where are they? When did they start? How did they price SuperSport out of this? How did it happen? And can they even pay? Is this not GBS? You remember GBS?
Remember GBS? Oh yeah, Gateway Broadcasting.
2.0, like because over 75 million, in fact, precisely 75.9 million for 3 years for 13 competitions is what they have signed up for. In that 3-year period, there are 2 AFCONs, and then there are so many other women's AFCON, U23, U20. So 13 competitions overall, 3 years, $75.9 million.
Right?
Yes, USD. And they are in Togo.
Yeah, they are in Togo.
And they don't even, and SuperSport and Canal Plus, for example, have together, they have about 30 million subscribers on the continent. SuperSport alone has 23 million. Canal Plus has about 26.7 something. No, like 6 point something.
Yeah.
How did it happen? What do we know about them? What does this mean for the consumers? Because people are genuinely worried, and it's our job to educate.
Well, yeah. So a lot of people would have subscribed to pay TV, specifically SuperSport, because they wanted to watch their favorite African stars at the Nations Cup. Indeed, I saw a lot of people under my post on social saying that, they had, it was getting to the end of December, a lot of people felt they were going to resubscribe or to even increase their whatever they were paying so that they could get a better package, so that they could have access to all the games. And then this disappointment came. So it's a simple matter of TV rights. And as listeners may want to know, the fact that a station or a media entity does not get the rights to an event or a competition does not mean that they don't care. Okay, in the specific case of SuperSport, I remember my earliest memory of watching or seeing at the time, even in town or somewhere, the African Cup of Nations on SuperSport is 2002.
Oh, that's early.
Before then it was GBC,
22 years ago.
So that's my earliest memory of actually seeing it. Now my earliest memory of actually owning it, as in sitting down somewhere that I can go and say that was an office I work. This is 2006. Thomas Mlambo doing the AFCON in Egypt. That's my earliest. But I've known. But a few phone calls have told me that they've had it every year since the company was formed.
Wow.
The Africa Cup of Nations. So for them, this is a historic
miss.
or a historic miss. So that's that. As you may know, MultiChoice itself is 30 years this year. Okay, so for the bulk of that time, they have always had the Africa Cup of Nations, which is something. So that's one thing. It does not mean that they do not care. some people will say that, yeah, but they show all the European matches. They even show Latvia versus, in the words of my colleague Ibrahim Sanida,
That's right.
Latvia versus Estonia. There's a huge swathe of people. You know, there's a lot of people who feel like a lot of these media companies spend too much on European football.
Yeah.
You see, to the detriment of the African game, which is what this discussion will want to put into perspective. So CAF as an organization organize or put together the Africa Cup of Nations. Okay? It's a competition that they put together every 2 years. They sell. What are they selling? They are selling the footballers.
Yes.
The stars of the game for you and I to watch. Okay? Now, they give it to television stations who then pay for the right to broadcast it through advertising. Right?
Yes.
In subsequent years across the African continent, first of all, in fact, around the world, advertising revenue has dropped a lot. That is to say, companies that traditionally pay for advertising on TV are doing less and less of that. And instead, they are taking more and more of their money into other ways of getting their products out there for people to see. What are some of these other ways? Something as trivial, you may say, as influencers. The specter of influencers. So, as somebody told me, was it the year ended, they were talking about something in relation to advertising stuff on TV.
Okay.
And the person said that for their specific product, instead of bringing their money here to multimedia, because we're saying that, oh, you can put, and he was like, no, I know what Joy can do for me. I know what Adum can do for me. But instead of bringing it there, the kind of product that I have is moved specifically. Good. The person was or is an iPhone seller.
Okay.
iPhone 12, 13, 14 and going.
The ones that Muftawu can afford.
Those phones. And listen to this argument. His specific argument was that, oh, to me they are too Joy. However, the kind of demographic he wants are in a certain specific area. So he would rather give those monies to the TikTokers. And he mentioned about 10 specific TikTokers.
Influencers.
The influencers. And he would rather give some of that money. And he showed me his spreadsheet where he had tested this theory over the last 4 months and his sales had moved no problem. He feels like if he puts it on a mass medium like this, the number of times the advert will be played and the cost for which he will play those adverts will not inure to he will not get the return on his investment. And so that is what is happening around the world. As media has proliferated, has become more democratized, more decentralized, advertisers are having more choice. And so they are taking their monies onto things like streaming platforms, social media platforms, digital platforms, which is chipping away at the monies that companies like MultiChoice and SuperSport and beIN Sports and all these other broadcasters, Sky, are making. The multimedias and the GBCs of this world are making. Now, these companies have woken up in the last 5 years to realize that they are not just competing with their traditional competitors, that is the multimedias and GBCs of this world, but other people who are able to raise money to buy these rights. To move on, the rights for things like the Premier League have become more and more expensive year on year. Why? Because more and more people are watching. Supply and demand. So as more people watch the Premier League around the world, the Premier League is increasing the price of its product.
Of course.
Meaning that the MultiChoice and the SuperSports of this world must raise more money every year for the same product.
And that's why every year the Premier League signs a new deal, a new broadcasting deal that is bigger than even the one in the previous year.
Exactly.
Who is paying? The broadcasters.
Yes, the broadcasters are paying, which comes down to you and me.
So they have increased subscription fees.
So then they increase the prices for the subscription because of operational costs and because the rights to things like the Premier League are becoming more expensive. So the first question I would answer is, people who complain, oh, and why it's an African thing? The Africa Cup of Nations lasts how long? 4 weeks maximum.
Yeah, 1 month.
1 month. If the Africa Cup of Nations organizer, that is CAF, is asking a broadcaster to pay 100 cedis for a 4-week tournament, 100 cedis, and the Premier League is asking the broadcaster to pay 1,000 cedis
for 1 year.
For 1 year or 9 months of football. If you are the broadcaster, what would you do to keep your audience? Which audience would you risk serving better? That is the thing. Remember,
don't the audience interlap though, like intersect?
Intersect. They do intersect.
Because
however, it's the same pie.
Yes.
So if you are the broadcaster, your revenue or the money you are, let's say we are in 5th January, most companies will start having an amount that they want to use to operate every year. Let's say you are the broadcaster. The money you want to use to operate in 2024 is 2,000 cedis. Premier League alone is taking 1,000 cedis. You are going to buy maybe Champions League. Champions League 2 is 500 cedis. Then your audience, you know that there are some who like World Athletics Championships, kakra, cricket, kakra, darts, kakra, NBA, kakra, wrestling, kakra,
tennis be brave.
So
F1.
So the 500 cedis that is left, because you've paid thousands, you tell yourself that when you are starting every year, there are some things that are non-negotiable.
Right.
For most of these broadcasters,
the
Premier
football.
League and football is non-negotiable. So that one, by hook or crook, you have to pay for it. Then you Champions League, that one too, you have to pay for it. So you have a little pile, let's say 500 cedis, to buy the rest of all these things. Then the Africa Cup of Nations organizers, CAF, come and say, every year you pay 50 cedis for the Cup of Nations. But this year, we are changing our operating model. And so we want to increase the numbers of people and make it more expensive, because we believe that our product has been priced too cheaply. And that is what has happened in the Patrice Motsepe administration, the new CAF president. So that's where I want us to start getting. They have increased the value of the tournament. Remember, for the last 3 or 4 years, the year-on-year increment in the prize monies for all the African competitions has been really, really good.
It's a manifesto promise that he's fulfilled.
Yes.
He just announced an increase to the AFCON prize money.
Thank you.
From
One
5
of the
million to 7
manifesto
million.
promises of the new CAF, of the recently appointed CAF president, was that he was going to make all the African competitions worth the while of the participants by making sure that the prize money was more. Now, if they increase prize money, where will that money come from? Let's look at the data. The data suggests that.
So there's sponsorship and then there's broadcast rights.
Yes. So the data suggests that since 2013, the winners of the AFCON got $1.5 million. 2015, it was still $1.5 million. In 2017, it went to $4 million. 2019, it went to $4.5 million. So when it went to $4 million, that was a 64% increment. We'll produce an artwork. We are doing it right now. Now we'll put it out. In 2019, they increased it by a further 12%. That was $4.5 million. Then in 2021, a further 11.1% on the 4.5 to $5 million. And now they have increased it to $7 million. If you take from 2013 to now, 64 plus 12 plus 11 plus 40, that is a staggering amount.
Almost 200% increase.
That is a staggering amount. Almost a 200%. Where does that money come from? Remember, CAF's internally generated funds are nothing to write home about.
In other words, they don't have a lot of quality sponsors.
They don't have a lot of quality sponsors, which means then that the few competitions that they have need to be priced upwards in order to ensure that if and when Ghana wins the AFCON this year, say amen, say amen,
amen.
Oh,
Don't worry.
So
don't worry about him.
And when Ghana wins the AFCON this year, the $7 million will be worth our participation.
Yes, we can finally fix Pram.
We can finally fix Pram.
Why are you guys laughing?
So
What's the meaning of this?
So that is what CAF did. They said no.
something and 7 million in coming to this country after.
Have you
tournament.
forgotten
No,
the
please.
recent, the recent
But as for the
report,
AFCON,
it was $8.6 million.
as for the AFCON money, we use it to fix
Between 2016 and 2022.
So Gary,
So I'm rounding up.
yes,
Now, CAF says that because we want Fentuo and Muftawu and Sitsofe and Gary not to watch the Asian Cup, which will be played at the same time, but to watch the Africa Cup of Nations, we need our pitches to be quality. We need the cameras to be sharp. You need, when people tune on the TV, they should say, because at the same time, the Premier League is ongoing.
it's still ongoing.
What should
Bundesliga is ongoing.
What should attract people to watch
Serie A is ongoing.
the Africa Cup of Nations? It is money. So they have increased it, and instead of, and the key thing this time is, instead of selling the rights directly, because CAF have usually sold the rights directly or through an agency, they have this time given the rights out more democratically, and a company from Togo called New World TV paid all the money. That's it.
Yeah.
So what it means is that whoever you
The
are,
money at hand is not.
it's not a children money.
Yes.
You mentioned it.
Yes.
$75.9 million over 3 years.
Yes.
That is a staggering amount.
For African competition, yes.
And you see, that is why immediately they agreed that deal, they have been able to increase the prize money. Do you know that the quarterfinalists of this AFCON will get $1.5 million each?
Yeah.
That is
8 teams.
That is 8 teams.
Each walking away with $1.5 million.
That's really good money.
If they are not Ghana FA people, they can save some money. But
You see, so that is good money. Now, where the multi-choices and the DSTV come in is that we have established that every company has a set amount they use to operate every year.
yeah.
Now, we have also established that the AFCON is only 4 weeks. And we have also established that, Charlie, if the Premier League is there and the Champions League is there, which will take place from about August or September to May and June, Charlie, it doesn't really make operational sense to come and buy the AFCON to the detriment of. But that is not what happened with SuperSport. Let me be quick to add.
Yeah.
It is that they were just beaten to it by this Togolese company.
It isn't. What about the argument that they should have tried harder? After all,
Do you know what you use to try harder? Money.
yes.
And
And
yeah,
that- no. Yes. So let me finish my point. They're saying that I've seen critics say, for
Yeah.
example, that there was also the option for sub-licensing.
Yes.
They could have gone to New World,
Yes.
and New World would have sub-licensed, especially the English market, because New World, even though they're a pay TV platform, they do not operate in fact, they only operate in about 14 countries.
Yes.
SuperSport operates in,
The bigger number of.
thank you.
Yeah.
Then there's Canal Plus, and then there's Star Times, who, by the way, just announced that they have the rights for the pay TV, the one SuperSport doesn't have,
Yes.
right? And my assumption, the only logical explanation is they've been sub-licensed by New World.
Yes.
So the question is, and the argument is, why couldn't SuperSport do same, given that they have 23 million subscribers on the continent, and that it should be seen as a responsibility
Yes, I was coming to that. I was coming
that
to
this is our product, and you have to do whatever it takes. And yes, they did it for the past 29 years. Let's put it that
Yes,
way.
put it that way.
So this time around, what happened? I don't know if you're done. I wanted to bring Sitsofe in here and ask him, what is it about New World that they... Because certainly, you can't tell me that a company set up in 2015, obviously not with the credibility and even the operational capacity of SuperSport, be able to find the money to do all this and pay a certain price that per SuperSport's estimation is overpriced. What is happening there in Togo, Sitsofe?
Yeah, I mean, we have to go and look at how New World themselves have acquired some of the rights they've done in more.
Yeah, they
recent
got the
years.
World Cup last year.
And when they were getting the
And
World
they got
Cup,
the World Cup against Canal Plus.
yeah,
Yes.
And let's know now. This is
Who are the
also
second biggest broadcasters behind SuperSport
Now,
on the
this is it.
continent?
And they've acquired the Euros as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
now.
And the Women's World Cup last year.
Yeah. Now, SuperSports, blah blah blah, all of that. multi-choice as it is, Canal Plus is for multi-choice, and that's what many people don't know. The same people.
No, Canal Plus has a 30% stake
Yeah.
in
in multi-choice. Yeah. So the same owners who are running for the Anglophones, who, if you like, we call DSTV.
Yeah.
For the Francophones, they
And
are
the
running
Arab
Canal
world.
Plus, right? And so this whole thing with New World TV, it's hitting both sides for Canal Plus and also for SuperSport.
Because
this
it's
case,
one.
in this case, DSTV. Now, for New World TV, when they were acquiring the World Cup, it has been rumored, it's been said or alleged that the companies that guaranteed the loans that they were going to take
Of course.
to acquire the World
It
Cup,
had to be loans.
the CAF president's company, Sunland, his personal company.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't
Bro.
go there.
The
Bro,
game
He
is
said
I'm here.
It's been rumored. So
It's
he's
been
saying
alleged.
No way.
The CAF president's
Okay, we are
company,
listening. We are listening.
right, were part of the guarantors that got them the money to acquire.
The FIFA World Cup rights.
Again, when you look at some of the owners and the partnerships that the New World TV have got, there's a big conflict of interest with CAF.
Interesting.
What SuperSport or multi-choice are fighting against, the more reason why they maybe, as many people have said, they've not fought for it as they should, is because they know what they are up against.
Maybe it was a losing battle.
Numbers is an advantage for multi-choice, and because of the numbers that they have, they won't pay as much as the emerging platform would pay. The reason is, if multi-choice is broadcasting the AFCON, because of the reach they have and the homes they can show the games to, CAF would have a bigger opportunity of advertising sales.
So, in other words, CAF sponsors will get more mileage.
They'll get more mileage,
Because the
CAF
competition
can
will reach
demand
more homes,
and
more
CAF can demand
eyeballs.
more, because you can straight away tell them these are the figures.
That's
These are
right.
the people who are going to see them.
That's right.
With New World TV, they've paid the money to CAF, which CAF might be okay with. But if CAF is doing what FIFA have done in recent years,
Yes.
not only focusing on TV, but focusing on the big monies from Coca-Cola and what have you. And that is why when Qatar said they were going to host the World Cup, one of the very first things that they were advised to do was, how about setting up a big sports platform
Yes.
that dominates for a period before the World Cup? By the time you've made the numbers, when the World Cup comes and we sell the right to you as being sports, we are not only making money from the World Cup right that we've given to you, but from adverts, we are making a lot of money, because by the time the World Cup was ready in Qatar, beIN was
Big.
huge. They had the
Big.
numbers, they were covering many places. Now
So
that's
what you are saying is that, I remember being sports and Qatar got the rights for the World Cup 2022 somewhere around 2011.
yes.
And that is around the same time that beIN was formed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Fun fact.
Yeah.
beIN Sport used to be called Al Jazeera Sports.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
It's the same people,
Same people.
for Al Jazeera.
Yes.
Please carry on.
And it was as soon as they won, if they didn't win the right for the World Cup, there's no being. It was all part of the plan, right? Now, with New World TV coming into the picture, the money they are going to pay upfront to CAF can be good, but in terms of sponsorship, CAF are playing a very dangerous game here
For now.
for now, because not every country has a GTV Sports Plus or a GBC in terms of national broadcaster, where they can close all programming and show all 52, how many games?
52.
52 games.
Yes.
Right? Not all countries have got national broadcasters capable of doing that. And New World TV is not everywhere on the continent. Now, here's the trick. For Ghana, we are lucky because we can have a local. And you see, and for
Ghana,
New World TV,
Joy Prime to the
everybody
rescue.
you see, New World TV.
Hey, we're working on it. We too, if we get correct guarantee for a loan somewhere, we're going to take that.
Yeah, for New World TV, they've not only acquired the paid TV rights,
They've got both.
they've got both.
Free to air, pay TV.
So CAF have just boxed everything. And when multi-choice were buying the right, they were buying pay TV.
Of course.
Then CAF will distribute it to national. Now
The
New World TV
FTA.
have got everything and they are distributing it. Now here's the thing. Because New World TV don't have their boxes everywhere on the continent, we now would have to rely on free to air.
Yes.
Now, what our understanding is, they would then be distributing them to national broadcasters.
Yes.
From there, they can spread it to other broadcasters. Now, that's the point. Not every country now will show all the games. Not every country now will see all the AFCON games. Because even for the national broadcasters of some countries, media is not big everywhere like it is in Ghana. So even in some countries, they will show the games that matter, the big games, the games that that country is involved in and their group. They might not show Namibia when they play Gambia. They might not show the games that many people are not going to watch. Now, the reason why again the prize monies were able to increase is when we got to 24 games, 24 teams. It was more games for broadcasters to show.
Yeah, so more times for you to advertise.
So with time, if New World TV is not expanding fast enough in the next 3 years, the money they've paid upfront would be good for CAF. But in terms of how they generate money from other revenue sources, that is where the problem could be. And the thing about multi-choice as well is, if I'm doing proper business, I'm not fighting as hard for the AFCON. And this is why.
That's what I've said, right?
And Gary has said it. The AFCON again is in January, February. If you have the best sports content already on the platform, which means that your subscribers will subscribe anyway. Nobody's going to say I'm not going to pay my subscription because there's no AFCON, right? People want to watch. First of all, you're a football fan, and a football fan means you want to watch some of the best football.
The only reason, the reason you have it is because of all the other things apart from AFCON. So AFCON is just an addition.
In January, February,
an important addition.
Yes,
to be fair.
In January, February, you still watch your La Liga, you still watch your Premier League, you still watch your Champions League, which will be coming back in February. If the AFCON was in June, July, multi-choice pays the money, because around that time, when maybe there isn't a major, and even this time there's
you have a good point. Yeah.
If the AFCON is in June, July, where you need that summer break to be filled with massive sports content,
so let's say,
subscribers.
If it is in a free summer,
where
if it's in a summer and it's clashing with the Euros, problem.
And that is why at some point, multi-choice they were buying the Copa America every year. They stopped. Why? Time. And when it clashed with Euros at some point, they realized that Euros was more beneficial. The timing is better. Africans, bought Copa America, nobody was, so they stopped showing it. So because it's in January, and Gary has said it, and it's 4 weeks, if they don't show the AFCON,
they won't die.
They will not lose their subscribers, because I'll pay and watch the Premier League and the Champions League. You will pay and watch.
In fact, it's not just that. You will find other means to watch rather than opting out.
Yeah.
So let's say if you're so much a big fan of pay TV, you might end up adding a Star Times to your household.
Yes.
To watch the AFCON.
Yes.
But you won't throw away.
So in business terms, multi-choice, of course, subscribers are not going to be happy. They're not going to be seeing the AFCON.
I'm sure they've seen
as they are doing.
Oh, the insults, they're plenty.
But in business terms, and let's face it, no broadcaster, including yourselves,
Joy Prime and Joy FM,
make profits from broadcasting the AFCON.
It's hard though. But
if we get, you are even going too far.
Muftawu, go on.
Not just the AFCON, but no broadcaster is able to recoup money invested into buying the rights of competition.
Yes.
It doesn't happen.
Yes. No broadcaster is making, so
it's difficult.
So why would SuperSports, why would multi-choice go and compete with New World TV, overpay the 80 million they've paid, and show the tournament for 4 weeks when they know they won't make that money back?
Why didn't they take the question again? Why didn't they take the sub licensing option? Which Star Times have gone to take? It's also a pay TV platform. People can watch the AFCON on that platform now, which is also paid, and they have a box. They didn't get the rights from CAF.
Yeah.
They went to New World.
So that's why we said Star Times, they need the AFCON more than multi-choice. It's a fact.
No, there's that.
Yeah, it's the only reason why Star Times can miss out. Because for Star Times, especially in the Anglophone countries, it's either Star Times or DSTV. Now, if DSTV are not going to show it, and you are Star Times, it is your best opportunity of getting or sustaining subscribers, because DSTV won't show it. and or maintaining your subscribers.
Yes.
So Star Times need to, because as for DSTV, they will still keep their subscribers because they'll show the Premier League, the La Liga and everything. But Star Times will know that without the AFCON, they might lose out on many things. So they'll get the AFCON, which makes sense for them.
Put a simple way in one sentence. If DSTV don't show the AFCON, the propensity or the likelihood that they will lose subscribers that will hurt them is very low.
Yeah, it's very low. And that's
for Star Times to show the AFCON. It is a better way for them to get new subscribers they can keep.
Yeah. That's right.
Which is why they will go and pay for
business.
It.
So if you look at it from the business angle, you understand why DSTV or multi-choice, we should say.
I think that is very well explained.
I'm even going to the angle of the bidding process, and I know, Teacher, you are very much aware of this. The bidding process is always quite complicated.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you look at an entity like multi-choice, they've got a track record. They know very well that, let's say, if New World is going to table a bid of, say, 80 million for the product, they'll just need to add 500,000 on top of it, and it's game.
Yeah,
they're good to go.
Yeah.
But sometimes you also need to have the power brokers in there in the conversations. If you do not have the power brokers in the conversation, it's difficult for you to be able to win. Like Sitsofe and Gary have said, multi-choice will not be hurt that much that they are not going to show the African Cup of Nations, because the competitions that people subscribe to for a whole season or monthly are ongoing right now. I've had the privilege of speaking to people who have engaged some of these companies in terms of selling broadcast rights. What CAF is selling is not just the African Cup of Nations. It is the flagship competition of CAF that they are selling. But they will attach the CAF Champions League, the Women's Cup of Nations, the other junior competitions, and all that. They attach all these products, put it together as a package, and sell it to you, and you would buy. Like New World TV has done. They bought it for 3 years. In these 3 years, which is 13 competitions, it means that every single year, they have 13 competitions they are going to show. So in 3 years, 13, that's like 39?
No. CAF doesn't have 13 competitions in a year. So it's 13 competitions for the 3 year period.
No. So they have the CAF Champions League.
Yes.
Yeah, for 3 seasons.
Yes.
They have the...
They have two AFCONs.
Yeah, they have two AFCONs.
They'll have one under 20,
under 20,
one
under
women's
17.
AFCON. So altogether,
everything is 13.
Yes.
So within this period, what it means is that New World TV have got variety of content to serve to the people. But the bigger challenge would be, how are they able to break into the English market? Because as we speak, like Sitsofe mentioned, there are like 14 countries.
Let me tell you how they do it. Sub-licensing. So GTV will go and buy from them. They will get money.
In fact,
Nigeria broadcaster will go and buy.
GBC will buy the free to air.
That's right, but it's still money going to New World.
Sitsofe mentioned something very interesting. Since 2019, no free-to-air channel have been able to show every single match of the competition.
I understand that. No, but I was answering the question you asked about how they would break even.
Yeah.
And I was saying that a starting point, like you said, they have limitation in terms of selling boxes or presence.
Yes.
Subscribers. I'm saying one advantage they do have is that sub-licensing. So all the other free-to-air channels and all the other that operate in all the other countries will come to them and pay money. Apart from the FTA, there we have already another pay TV platform that operates in sub-Saharan Africa, going to them and also sub-licensing. Yeah. So I'm saying that that is one way they will make money, which they are already doing, because we know GBC have gone to pay and taking the rights. Now we want to take from GBC and they are doing something.
Fentuo, you see, when you want to, in fact, I'm not saying New World TV is a competitor of multi-choice, because they can't be. They are trying to. But when you want to break into a market, it's extremely difficult for you to sub-license to a company you want to compete with.
Of course. So that's why SuperSport didn't go to them for it.
So if you think that New World TV would really give the product to multi-choice, it's going to be a very difficult thing for them to do. And they'll play hardball and demand for more money.
You're right.
Even for multi-choice, as big boys, they'll be like, okay, go on and show the AFCON. Let's see how many people, audience you have at the end of it.
Exactly.
And when the figures come out, multi-choice will be sitting and be laughing because I doubt they reach.
And even
those
companies
numbers.
like multi-choice, when they want to buy a product, they're not coming to buy just one-off product. They have to buy within a certain period.
Yeah.
And
it's not just like let's get it for only this AFCON.
No. We take the AFCON and we are done.
Yeah.
Maybe GBC can go and do that. Multimedia group can go and do that. But an entity like MultiChoice, they want to buy for a certain duration.
All right.
And if New World is not willing to give them within that duration, then they will also be reluctant to pay the money probably they are asking for.
All right. Very interesting.
So the last thing I would add is that companies buy rights for different reasons, and this is very important. And that is what Muftawu has been saying. In other words, for some reasons in marketing, they say it's a market entry technique, right? It's for market entry reasons. So now, a year ago, till November, I had no clue who knew.
And they were here since 2015.
Right
now we are discussing.
Now we know them. In fact, one of our good friends has texted, and he probably has texted you that why are we mentioning them plenty like that? So
we are spoiling them.
Why are we mentioning those people plenty like that? So now and that's what they wanted. They want people to know that they exist.
In fact, on my Germany trip, I was on the trip with their sports editor.
Yes.
His name is Anthony Pla. I'm sure you've heard of him. Very popular guy in the Francophone world. French guy, white guy, who lives and works in Togo. He has an Irish passport as well because his wife is Irish. And he comes to Ghana every few months for Irish visa. He told me that. And he was the one I first heard about New World from.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I wanted him to join this competition. He said he's sick because the poor planning of the AFCON is overarmed. Because they're planning to do commentary in Bambali, in Ewe, in... Like, they're focusing a lot on local language.
Local languages.
Yes. They're focusing a lot on local language broadcasting. And he's the one responsible for trying to get broadcasters and even pundits for all those languages. And Adebayo works for them. That's the reason you don't hear about Adebayo anymore as much as you used to in Ghana. He's working full-time for New World TV, who have the rights for the Bundesliga over there in Togo and so many other competitions. So, even our good friend, what's his name? The Marseille defender who scored the winning goal in the '93 Champions League.
Basil Boli.
Boli works for them.
Basil Boli.
Basil Boli works for them as well. And it was a very interesting conversation that I had with him. It's rather unfortunate that he couldn't join us. He says he's really, really sick. So, but he was going to join us to have help us better understand what New World is all about.
So Star Times say they have the.
But I've mentioned many times.
No, apparently we have not mentioned it enough.
Tijo, I have not.
No, I said apparently.
Who is texting that person?
I'm sure it's.
You know who it is.
It'll be Ellie. Ellie Kondo and
It's my boss Akofa or my brother. Both of them. Start times you get up.
Anyway,
thank you guys.
But God willing, if we haven't got the right, of course that's why we have not. But if we should get the right, then start times we can't mention you.
For now they can.
We can mention you.
But as typical of us, last minute we will sweep in. Anyway,
we'll see.
I'm able to bring it away here with Paquetá. Kudus the man ahead of him. Has got Ward Prowse in his eye line. If he can get it across, if he needs to, he doesn't. Brilliant. More kudos to Kudus as West Ham United lead. It's been an excellent start. And that is a supreme counter-attacking goal from a man right on top of his game.
That's right, Mohamed Kudus right on top of his game. You're listening to Game Plan on 103.9 Hits FM and 99.7 Joe FM, brought to you by Petrosol as well as Betway, of course. And let me tell you, I'll tell you about them very, very shortly. The Petrosol. Okay, I'll tell you about that very, very shortly. But the Joe FM 90s Jam is this particular Friday. This very Friday. is the Joy FM 90s Jam. Tonight, yes, I mean tonight. Hold on, I mean tonight. This morning I was showing my dance moves. People thought I was going crazy. I said I had found some new moves, and people thought something. Don't worry. City Galleria Mall is adjacent the Accra Mall. That would be the place to be. It's from 8 p.m. till 4 a.m. We're taking you all the way back to the 90s and playing the best music you can find. You can get a ticket. Join us there. Star 714 star 003 hash. Star 714 star 003 hash. And I can tell you this, the VIP tickets are all sold out. So regular tickets remaining. It's only 150 Ghana cedis. Let's go jam and close out the year. Monday's a holiday, so we can do our own 90s jamathon and jam all the way till, of course, Monday. The Joy FM's 90s Jam is brought to you by Frito Sunflower Oil. Enjoy the goodness in tasty meals. NLA 590 mobile. Still the Winsome. You can just dial star 959 hash to play. Soccer Bet, your best bet for sports betting. Day by day, men. Strong, powerful lotion for active men. MTN everywhere you go. Velton's Bay, distributed by Kingdom Books and Stationery. The Joy FM 90s Jam, powered by Silicon Productions, of course. Get yourself a ticket. Petrosol, every drop matters just as every penny counts. Good quality fuel, of course, enhances your vehicle performance and reduces maintenance costs. So take no risk in times like this. All you need is value for your money. Look no further. Drive to the next Petrosol fuel station for your clean, accurate quantity fuel suitable for new technology vehicles. Be a happy customer, feel what smiles, drive more miles, and save more money. Petrosol, your clean, quality fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Of course, we're talking about the Ghana squad next. Daniel Krate has been warming his mouth. He has a lot to say about the Ghana squad. So do stay with us, of course. We are on till 3 p.m. this show. But let me tell you about the Sports Writers Association of Ghana. That is SWAG. On behalf of Ghanaians, will honor sports excellence at the 48th Nguvu Swag Awards on Friday, January 12th, 2024. That's next Friday at the Accra International Conference Center at exactly 6 p.m. The theme for this year's award ceremony is leveraging on the benefits of the 13th Africa Games. The prestigious and longest running awards event in Ghana, the Swag Awards, will be under the distinguished patronage of the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Come, let's celebrate our sports legends like never before with high life sensation Kofi Kinata and Singaton Queen. Efwa Asantoa Eduenum. Why does Singaton has no benefits now?
Hey, she's a swag member.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. By association.
By association.
And
by marriage.
By marriage.
So she's come to perform.
No, that's we can't tell. She's a guest.
Oh, okay.
Because her husband is a proud swag member.
Oh yeah, I mean it must be there.
Yes, and now.
But if she performs, what
will happen?
What should they can perform?
She can perform.
That one, I don't know.
Her voice.
I think so.
She was singing in Tamale.
She's in Tamale. Yes.
No, that is different singing.
So the 48th Nguvu Swag Awards is sponsored by Nguvu Mining Limited, Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, GOIL Ghana, National Lottery Authority, Stanbic Bank, SES HD Plus, Malta Guinness, Chileum Industries, etc. Swag. When you go, they mention the sponsors, then they finish with etc.
They have sponsors they don't want to mention.
No, this one.
No,
we need to see the financial report.
We have to, but we are proud members.
We pay dues.
Yes, but me,
the last voting we vote, you vote.
I am a member.
You vote.
Listen, I am a member in good standing. That's all.
That's all that matters.
That's all that I need to know. You need to know whether I voted or I didn't vote. That's not. That's none of your business.
You didn't abstain because you is not a member in good standing.
Yeah, I'm Muftawu, Nabila. When we start, then you start crying. You are here doing allegation that you don't. Meanwhile, the voting took place like several months ago. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Since then, thank you. Since then, there have been many other opportunities for people who were not even in good standing to become good standing members. He doesn't know that, and he's going about with allegations.
Should we ask him,
my friend? Remember that the Swag Awards comes off on Friday, January 12, 2024 at the Accra International Conference Center. You can contact 0244 280 802 for more sponsorship. We are not
After
done. Oh, I mean, I'm a swag member, so this one I'll promote it well. We are not done. Okay. If you want tickets as well, because it's not free. It's not all of you as sports journalists. Some of you have been insulting us, so we won't give you for free.
Those who say we are paid to think.
Yes. So we won't give you for free. But Kudus Mohammed, the nominees, they'll all be there. So if you want to see stars, come. We are not paying them to be there, but you must come and pay and come and be there. If you can't be insulting us, no problem. We know ball. But it is our award ceremony. Come and buy tickets. All right. So just call 0244 280 802 and then you can get details. The 48 Swag Awards, another time to celebrate sports excellence. All right. What's next then? On Monday, Chris Hughton held a press conference and named his Ghana squad, 27-man squad for the Africa Cup of Nations. They have been camping in Kumasi since Tuesday. Today's day 4. Inaki Williams was the latest player to join the camp. He joined up with the rest of his teammates this morning. Only one more player outstanding, Kudus Mohammed. I had a conversation with an FA official who told me they don't know when Kudus will join the team. However, they're aware that even as late as yesterday, he still had some more medical tests. Last night, exactly, with West Ham, still trying to ascertain the extent of his current injury and to see.
But remember, they said it's a slight, like they've.
Is it? Yes, they say it's a slight injury. In fact, and if they gave West Ham the authority, they probably would have injected and played him on
Tuesday.
Yes.
And the GFA said, "Hey,
no, yes,
don't do that."
He was released on Monday, so he can't play for you. But he can stay for you to.
Angry, no.
He can stay for you to treat him, but he can't stay for you to use him.
Do you know that if I am West Ham and the other Premier League clubs, the national teams will be annoying, but
very annoying.
You let me use the player, but me I should treat him so that you use him.
Yes.
No, but
and when he gets hurt, you bring him back for me to treat him.
Yes. But also, you know, it is in your interest. You are the one who went to pay 40 million for him. We didn't do anything for him.
Exactly.
all he had to do was to be born here.
Friend, one thing is that it's not as if when the players get injured, the FA just leave them like that.
No, they don't leave them. But the treatment cost.
Yes.
No, the treatment. If it's a FIFA World Cup, that's why they even pay the clubs. But for AFCON has no incentive for paying clubs for injured players.
No, it's not about the incentive for injured players. What I just want to understand is that the FA, anytime a player gets injured and the player is supposed to undergo surgery and he's not going back to his club immediately, the FA takes care of their cost.
Yes, but how many players were here?
Yes.
But how many players have undergone surgery here?
A player like Jerry Akaminko, it was the FA that paid about $15,000 or so for the surgery.
Yes, but at the time, think about this. It was before a World Cup.
Yes.
And so, just Jerry Akaminko, his situation, it was basically in the hands of Ghana. So, for example, there was no league going on.
Yes.
You were not going to send him to his club.
No. But
were you?
What I'm saying, it is not just that one. It's not.
No,
just
I guess it's a collaboration.
Yes.
But I'm saying that what Gary said, it's the fact. If he gets injured, yes. If he gets
the clubs they ball car more. But let's also give the FA their due that they don't just leave them.
So true. Have you not seen that they've had collapse? Players have gone to camps and they've had knocks and they've returned to their clubs
because the club will say that
because the club says you come.
Yes,
that's what do you want to say?
Because the club will say that.
We say come.
Ghana FA, we know you know a doctor, but you
we
don't trust your doctor like
that. Hold on, Cranty, yes. Cranty, you say what?
Tahiru,
yes.
The debate that is going on there, I don't understand. But if a player who gets injured at the club, won't you also miss national team duty? Don't the club know that January, February is AFCON time? When you are buying the player last 2 years, didn't you know that he was Ghanaian and that you come to an AFCON? That thing is never an excuse. So.
True story.
It's never an excuse.
True story.
Yes, it's true.
True story.
It's never an excuse. So they shouldn't use it when the time as a convenient reason to absent the player from national team duty. You know that the person is African. The same way you know the person is Asian, that every 2 years in January, the player will go. Son has been doing it. Salah has been doing it. Kudus will come home, which will have a medical team will treat him. This thing that the European clubs do is very funny.
Oh, yeah. We trust Dr. Pambo.
When Kudus was at the team in Nimano, and he went to Right to Dream and we were training, we put him in an under 17 team, took him to Northland. Where was West Ham? They have come to take the fruit of our football system. Now give him to us for 1 month. I come to do to do. Master, it's not an excuse. Don't let him.
Okay.
You are wasting time on the matter.
Calm down. Let's go to the squad then. Let's go to the squad. Three goalkeepers: Richard Ofori, Joseph Wallacott, Lawrence Atizigi. Defenders: Ali Seidu, Dennis Odoi, 2 right backs. Kingsley Schindler is another one. That's 3. Gideon Mensah, Abdul Fattah Hamid are the left backs in the team. Nicolas Opoku, Daniel Amate, Salisu Mohammed, Alexander Jiku, 4 centre backs. Midfielders: Baba Idrisu, Elisha Owusu. DMs: Samed Sales is also there. Richmond Lamte, Majid Ashimeru, Mohamed Kudus, Andre Ayew, Ransford Yabua Koningsdorfer is also named here as a midfielder. There are 3 wingers named in the squad: Osman Bukari, Joseph Pencil, Jordan Ayew, and Enes Nyama. And then there are 3 forward players: Inaki Williams, Anton Semenyo, Jonathan Sowa. Cranting, you held a record 3-hour space on the squad. Quite a lot was discussed. And one of the key things that stood out, obviously, is the last matter that we were discussing, Kudus Mohammed and his injury situation, whether or not the squad has enough quality to replace him in case he gets injured. But even before we get into that, what are your thoughts on the makeup of the squad? Is it balanced? Do we have enough quality in there to compete at this AFCON?
I'll give it a 7/10. I'll give it a 7/10 because of all the situations, various situations and scenarios that we find ourselves in. You see, in the past 6 months, we've struggled with a particular profile in a particular position. Let me see the number 8 ball progresses. We've had injuries to Ashimeru during that period. We've had a long injury to Daniel Kofitre. Partey has also been injured. So there's been a bit of difficulty when it comes to finding a player to fit that profile. Thankfully enough, Ashimeru is fit for the competition, so he's coming. We've seen Richmond Lamte being drafted into the squad, and I think that is to accommodate the absence of somebody like Thomas Partey, who I think would miss. But I feel like because of the glaring need for a player of that sort of profile or a player of that quality, I think, at least if I was the one naming the squad, I would have named an extra player in that position. And when I look at the 55-man squad, I was a bit disappointed that a player like Fortuna Mankwa didn't make the final squad. Granted, he doesn't have national team experience, but that could also be said about a player like Richmond Lamte. But when you look at the sort of football that he's playing in Austria, he's been brilliant over the past year. He's doing well this year. The minutes he gets, we all see. And the most important thing is that he fits the profile and he's been exposed to a certain standard of football. So for me, when you look at the players who featured in that role for the Black Stars over the past 2 years, and the two of them, the guys who have made most appearances in that role is Partey and then Daniel Kofitre. I would say that if both of them are missing, it is not enough to replace them with a player in Ashimeru who has a lot of quality but hasn't had a lot of experience at the Black Stars, and then Richmond Lamte, who is now coming into the Black Stars for the first time. I don't think those two are enough, just because you don't know what you are going to face at the competition. So I would have added a third option just to help the coaches. You don't know what will happen at training. You don't know who fits what game plan the best. So having somebody like Fortuna Mankwa at least as an addition would have made sense to me, especially when I look around the squad and I see this guy, Ransford Yeboah Koningsdorfer. I don't have anything against him. I think in club football, the little I've watched, I think he's a good player. The only thing is, I struggle to understand why he's been part of the setup for a very long time. I think the past year or year and a half. And we've hardly ever seen him make appearances. And for me, at this point, there's a very valuable spot in the team that should have gone, in my opinion, should have gone to a player in the profile of the Richmond Lamtes and the Ashimerus in Fortuna Mankwa. And so that's where I'm a bit disappointed. And also in the forwards, in terms of the forwards, apart from Jonathan Sowa, we don't have a recognized centre forward in our team. And for me, that is also a problem. We've had a team that has been struggling for goals. Inaki Williams doesn't feature as a centre forward for his club side. Semenyo doesn't feature as a centre forward for his club side. In fact, none of our players except Jonathan Sowa features as a centre forward.
Because it looks like we have about 7 or 8 wingers in the team.
Yeah. And for me, yes, you might say that there are some players who there's a difference if, like, for example, Michael Essien back in the day, that deep role, combative role he used to play for with Lyon, whom Chelsea, was very different from what he was playing with Ghana. In Ghana, he had a bit more freedom. So that's a different example because he was excelling in the Ghana example. So it will make sense if he continues. Iñaki struggles when he plays as a centre forward for Ghana. Semenyo struggles when he plays as a centre forward for Ghana. So when I look around the 55-man squad, now this is my argument. Although Bernard Tekpete doesn't necessarily play as a centre forward, for me, in the players of that mold, I think he's the more natural goal scorer than all of them. That's at least how I see it. When you watch him at Ludogorets, whether he's coming off the left, whether he's coming off a second striker off the right, his composure in the box for me is much better. And if you look at the numbers, his finishing is actually much better than Iñaki and Co.
In other words, he's a more aggressive presence.
Yes, if you have him in the box, he gives you a bit more. So for me, I think we should have had a player with that option. He's kind of not similar in terms of his aggression when it comes to Jonathan Soa, but he's a more purer finisher than him. So I would have also thought that maybe we should have made space for him in the squad because you never really know when you need a player like him. I remember in the last AFCON, at our previous employ, remember we spoke about we discussed the squad, and at the time most people didn't really see the need for Boachiado because it was almost similar to Koningsdorfer. He comes into the squad, but unless somebody is injured, he never really gets an opportunity. But he was drafted into the squad. And I said, you see, when you're going into competitions like this, it's always very important to have different, at least one or two players who are very different from the profile of players that you would ordinarily want, as in that fit your system. There are some profile of players that fit everything, like target men. You never know when it will be locked at 1-1 and you badly need to open up the opposition. Then you can throw in a player there who can hit long balls too. That is not your ideal style, but it is a last gasp effort for you to try and grab something out of the game. Those players, if you look at the top teams across the world, you always have at least one or two of those players in their squads. Not because those guys are the best players, but they fit in they fit in the tournament setting because you never know what is going to happen. So for me, when I look at the variety in our attack, I don't think there is a lot. I think there are too many similarities between our players, especially Iñaki and then Semenyo. Jonathan Soa, for me, yes, he's done good in the few minutes that he's been thrown on. But even from a technical point of view, I'll just throw a question to the listeners. If you needed a goal in the last 10 minutes and you looked on your bench and there was Tekpete and there was Jonathan Soa, who would you rather throw on? I think most people would say Tekpete because he can get you a goal. He can get to the goals and he's proven it at a very high level. So those are the two areas that I was a bit disappointed in. Other than that, I think injuries and absentia has just hurt us in a way in terms of the quality that we would have had in our team, in terms of tournament experience. And when you go back to AFCONs, a player like Baba Rahman has that much experience and he's shown it. AFCON 2015, 2017, 2019. He had very good competitions then, and you always need to draw on that experience. But that being said, it's not like this team doesn't have a tournament experience. And sometimes it is not only experience that you need. Sometimes you need form, you need experience, and you need a willingness of the players to also want to go and compete.
Yeah.
And I think that, look, on the back of the poor AFCON, the poor World Cup, if these players are not motivated enough, or this group of players are not motivated enough to go and change the narrative, then I don't know for them. Because I think, other than that, aside the things I've mentioned, which I don't think will gravely affect us at the competition, I think it could affect us, but not gravely affect us at the competition. Especially also comparing this team and this midfield to what we had in 2021. I think this is good enough, especially with Ashmeru. I think this is his tournament for me. I've been looking at the squad and I've been...
If he can stay fit.
If he can stay fit, hopefully he will. It's just 1 month, Ashmeru, we beg you. But you see, if he can stay fit, I think this is his competition. Most people have really wanted to see what he can prove. He's done it in bits and pieces. But with the absence of party, there's really no excuse. He's going to get his time. And
he must
hopefully
deliver.
If he gets his time, he must deliver. So aside that, look, and with a Kudus issue, he will come. It's just about
Oh,
the
come
time.
there,
We
he'll
know
come.
these people.
Come there, he'll come.
Oh, he'll come and he'll play, and he'll play all the games, whether they like it or not. 90 minutes, he'll play. Oh no, it's true.
No, he has
Look,
to.
you
Of
see,
course, if he's fit, he has to. He has to.
Tahiru, you see, some of these arguments, it's very funny for me. So it's sometimes very funny for me because it is not like when the players are excused for the AFCON, they come and they are playing darts or they are playing Ampe Pro Max. It's the same football they are playing. You get it? It's not like when the player stays in his team, he's going to rest. So I always use this AFCON argument against the Euros. During the Euros, that is the time the players are supposed to be resting. You know. It's not like if the player doesn't go for Euros, the player will still be playing football. So the risk is the same. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. If I excuse my player in the middle of the season to AFCON, he's still playing football. The chances of him getting injured at the AFCON is very similar to the chances of him getting injured in the league. But during the Euros and during the World Cup and the rest, competitions are done. So if you have a star player who is not going to any competition, that star player is resting and is helping me rather than going to the Euros to go and risk injury. So when it comes to, I think it's a very convenient example when it comes to, then if he gets hurt, we are bringing him back. Who do we bring him back to? Aren't you the person who wants to pay 40 million for him? And you factored all these things into the price tag because so when the time comes for you to release him, Boga, relax, release our player, let him come and play. And you play for us and
very
we
well.
excel.
Very
So
well.
go Black Stars go.
Very well, Daniel. I think your point is very well made. So then it brings me to my next question, which is directed at Shucho, a man fascinated by tactics. So then, enough of the lamentations about who should have made it, who shouldn't have made it. Daniel has made brilliant analysis on what he thought about the squad and who he thought should have been there and what he thought of the composition of the various aspects of the squad. So then now we have 26 players, soon to be 27. In the past, Keating has struggled to find the right balance or at least to get the team playing the way we want. All right. Now he has them. He has 10 days to do that, put together a team capable of competing with the material that he has. When the bell rings, can crying, okay, for that first game against Cape Verde, what in your estimation would be an ideal team to put out there?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Very tough.
We could have about 5 different teams from the set that he scored. But I think one of the things that Ghana we've always struggled with is when we played against teams that have got pace, teams that just can move the ball around a bit quick with a bit of sharpness. We just can't cope with it.
Quick transitions.
Yeah, and so when he played against Portugal at the World Cup and then just lifted the tempo of the game a little bit, we struggled. In the second half against Korea, we saw what happened. And against Algeria in our friendly games, all these games when the tempo is a bit too high, we can't cope. Comoros did it to us,
Twice.
Yeah, twice. So I'm looking at a team that is, people are going to underestimate Cape Verde, but they can be quick. Yeah. They can be very quick when they play. So I'm going to look at a team that, and it's a tournament. Let's now, when you're going to a tournament, the most important thing that you think about is the knowledge of the results. That can help you. Because you are playing a 24-team tournament, when you finish third, you can still progress. Yeah. And when you're at the knockout stage, it's anybody's game because you can hold your opponent till 0-0, go to the shootout, get one lucky goal, somebody gets sent off, all of a sudden the game, nobody really can predict what tournaments are. But first, you need to know what results will send you through. So the most important thing for every single of one of those 3 games is not to lose. That is why I think Ghana's best bet is to make sure that the back is as solid as it can be. Because when we've seen Chris Hughton's team play, we are extremely exposed. Just one ball over the top, one ball down the middle, and we are all over the place.
Is Salisu the solution here?
I don't think
because he's not had him since.
I don't think Salisu is a solution. In fact, when we look at the best partnerships, centre-back partnerships in the Black Stars in the last 2 years or so, Salisu isn't one of them. Salisu is not the best partner of Jiku. He isn't the best partner of Amate. And when Salisu has played with Amate,
can he complement those two in the back 3? That we saw at the World Cup.
So that's what I was going to say.
I've seen people say we shouldn't try that.
Well, I think it's one of the options we should look at. I'm not going to say straight away play 3-back because 3-back system, as I've said a lot of time, it's
not dependent on the 3 defenders. It's also wing back.
It has so much information that the players, and our players are intelligent, of course, they can process it. but you need to be absolutely on top. And when you see managers who have been very meticulous about this 3-back system, these are managers.
They're micromanagers.
Yeah, they are nerds. Like Antonio Conte. You look at Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea when they won the Champions League. You know, and when it goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong. And so we saw Conte with the Spurs team. But when his Juventus team was on fire and winning the league, it was perfect. When he came to Chelsea and stopped the 4-3-3 to the 3-back, we saw how perfect it was. So it can be a very good system for Ghana. And the reason why I would go for the 3-back system is our best centre-back, and that's why I said that we need to be very solid at the back. Because Kudus can pop up with the magic. Jordan can do anything. Anybody can get a goal from any. It's a tournament. Just one goal can give you 3 points, which will be very important, right? I'm not going to go into a tournament looking for fine football. I'm going to go into a tournament looking for a team that is very resilient and strong, difficult to break through. That is why I don't think that when we partner Salisu and Amate, when I've seen them play, he has never looked solid to me. He has.
And there's a reason, right?
Yeah, there's a reason to it. Well, I think that many people say that Amate is the leader at the back. I don't think he is a leader. I don't think Amate's organization at the back is great. And even Amate himself is sometimes caught ball watching or loses concentration. His position at times has been very
questionable.
Questionable.
Comoros.
Against several games. He's all over the place. And Mohamed Salisu, as good as he is, and one that looks like he can be a very good leader in the future, I also think that because his game is he's very aggressive, right? When he's defending. Not to say he's jumping his tackles,
he's calm. I think one of his biggest problems is probably something he can do nothing about. It's his physique. He's a huge guy.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of weight on his body, on his feet, on his muscles, on his. So he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's strong.
Yes.
He's quick.
Yeah.
It's just that he can't be fit. That's the problem.
He needs, and again, he's a player that I think he needs somebody to guide him. Right? You can't leave him on his own and think he's going to. He's all on his own. He's a perfect. And Amate is not that guy because Amate has a lot to focus on his game as well. So when we've had the best partnership we've had among those three is when Jiku has played against Daniel Amate. And surprisingly, among those three, I think Jiku is a better organizer at the back than the two that I've mentioned. But Jiku's best position in centre back has not been on the right; it's been on the left. Amate's best position in centre back has been on the right, and surely Mo Salisu won't play on the right; he'll play on the left. He
has to play on the left.
So if we want to get a solid back three, and some of the best defensive performances we've seen in the last 6 months or 1 year is the second half against Brazil when we sit to the back three with those three centre backs. The first half against Portugal when those three centre backs played, we were solid as a unit at the back. We were very good. So I'm thinking that going into the tournament, when we've been very exposed at the back, and if you go into tournament and you concede the first goal, it can very much be a heavy weight on you. So let's fix that back. I'll play the back three, right? Okay. And when we do that, it probably then gives us a little room to also try the double pivot that we've not been very impressed with, because what the back three can do is
with the same personnel.
It could be with us. It could be Ashimero and Baba Idrisu. It could
so
be
then that's
Salis
not the same personnel.
It could be Salis and
Ashimero.
Ashimero, right? Any of them,
but not Baba and
the fixture. The fixture can determine that.
Okay.
Because if that happens, and we give a little bit more license, that's why I'm very sad that the player like Babarama is not going to come, because he fits this even the more. Because Babarama, when he's attacking, can very much put some good. I know people.
It's a proper wing back.
It's a proper wing back, and that is one thing he struggled with. We've always used him as a left back. I don't think he's a good left back, but I think that when he has a bit of a cover behind him, and he's going forward and he's playing in between the attacking and the defensive end, Baba can enjoy himself.
Yeah, right? In midweek he scored a goal and an assist.
And created a chance as well, or created a goal as well.
Yeah.
And you can have a Dennis Odoi who offensively is better than Ali Duseidu. But depending upon the game, if you want to play if you've got a goal, you want to protect it, you're probably going to throw on Ali Duseidu and then Gideon Mensah, whoever is going to stay tight, so you have your back five. And the thing is, we have an attacking lineup who individually can make things happen, right? Because
but as a group
we struggled, and that is where the coach has to find a fix.
Where do you fix all these attacking players? For me, I think that you express good concerns about the defense.
Yeah.
Even the midfield, there are some issues.
Yeah,
massive issues. Thank you. I think where our biggest talents lie is in attack.
Yeah.
But what would be the best combination to get the best out of them? Because it seems like we have, in my opinion, I think we have maybe about 6 very similar players.
Yeah.
Six players that are exactly the same.
So again, the reason why I would choose the back, I know people have said we shouldn't play
Like
the back
Semenyo can play where Inaki plays.
Yeah.
Inaki can play where Osman Bukari plays. Osman Bukari can play where Pencil plays. Pencil can play where Kwanisdorfer plays.
Yeah.
It's
Jordan and you two can.
Jordan can play where Kwanisdorfer plays. So how many players?
So
all of them very good right-footed wingers that can play off a striker.
Yeah.
On that left-hand side.
On top of my head, right? The if you're going to play with the system that I've said, the 3-back with fullbacks attacking more, if the fullbacks are going to attack more and they'll get cover from the 2 central midfielders and the back 3, then there is no way if you start Inaki wide, Kudus wide, and Jordan wide, they will stay wide. Because if the fullbacks are going to count, then you need to vacate those areas for them. And the reason why I'll need them to vacate those areas is the 3 players who are likely to start are not, as much as they are not out and out strikers, they are also not typical wingers. However, they are good forward players. So there's a difference. I think Kamaldeen Suleiman is a winger, pure winger. I think Joseph Pencil is a pure winger. I think Osman Bukari is a winger. I don't think Kudus is a winger. I don't think Iñaki Williams is a winger. I don't think Jordan is a winger. I think these are very good forward players, right, who can operate in wide areas. Now, if those fullbacks are going to take a lot of the space higher up the pitch, then Jordan, Kudus, Iñaki Williams have to be in and around the box, and I think that is where they can cause problems.
Since you took the job,
a quick one. Yes. This one. If, let's say, Iñaki Williams or Jordan is even drawing in, he's forcing a player to in creating opportunity for your winger to go through.
So that's what I'm saying. So the point is, and they will have no choice. If the wing backs are supposed to, the instruction that the wing backs, take care of the line. Yeah. Then the wide forward player has to vacate that area. Yeah. And in vacating it, you don't vacate to go and defend. You vacate to get in and around the box.
Ultimately, my question.
Danny's trying to say,
Daniel.
Yeah, I'm saying, you see, I agree with what Sicho is saying, but for me, fundamentally, the reason why we should operate in a back 3, and when you say a back 3 is very complex and things, to be frank, in the last year or 2, the Black Stars have seemed pretty comfortable with the back 3. This is a team that played in a flat back 4 in the first half against Nigeria, switched to a back 3, and it looked like they had been playing it for 6 years. Yeah. When they play a back 3, they seem really compact and really solid.
Another good example would be, in fact, the Brazil friendly.
Yeah, the Brazil
friendly in the second half against Portugal, up until the changes were made and Jordan and Co came on. Look, when you look at our fundamental lack in the past year and a half, our defense has been very poor. With a back 4, we've looked too open. It doesn't matter whether we are playing 2 DMs. We've just left a bit too much space in between the lines, and teams have been able to punish us. But anytime we play a back 3, we look much more compact. But the similar trait is that our attacking potency with a back 4 is very similar to our attacking potency in a back 3. So which one do you prefer? Do you prefer to be much more solid and struggle up front anyway than to struggle up front anyway and also to be too open at the back? I prefer the back 3. And Citro has made a very important point. With the forward players that we have, look, they have magic in their legs. This is a tournament setting. It's not a league. It's a tournament setting where you can get a goal out of anything. I'm not saying we should go and we should enter the tournament and be praying in terms of hope. But again, when he talks about profile of players, especially in the forward areas, if you are playing, let's say, a 3-4-3, which I think we should do, with the wing backs, people are forgetting that Schindler is not a right back. Yeah. Schindler is a wing back or a right winger. So he's perfect for that role. Yeah. And for me, if a player like Tariq Lamptey couldn't make it, I think Schindler is much better in that position in terms of the balance, because defensively, I think he's much better than Tariq Lamptey in that role. Now, again, another thing that we also need to consider when playing a back 3 is combinations. The players on the laterals, that is the wing back and whichever forward is it playing on his side, must be in constant communication and must have a certain level of telepathy. We've seen the combinations between Jordan on the left and Barbara Rahman and Jordan and Gideon Mensah. I think those two defensively have been really good. Whoever is playing left back with Jordan on the left hand side, there's been little or no trouble. If you go back to the Brazil friendly, and those of us who watched it without emotions. Brazil had no luck on that side. What's his name? The guy the Leeds United boy who went to Barcelona. Your friend is simple.
Rafinha.
Yeah. Rafinha was on that side in the first half. Brazil literally didn't have luck on that side because Jordan and Babarama were operating on that side. And then they switched and started concentrating on Dennis Odoi's side. And that's where all their goals came from. Again, the South Korea game, in the entirety of that game, Gideon Mensah had a super game with Jordan Ayew defensively. Korea had no luck from that side. In the second half, they needed to switch their concentration. And if you look at the attacking stat map, the percentage of attacking play, Korea switched from the first half whilst they were trying to use Jordan and Gideon Mensah's side to the other side where it came to Tariq Lamptey's side. That's where the 2 goals came from. Remember, he made a mistake the first one. They beat him to the cross the second one. Both games came from that side. Exactly. So you need to consider those combinations. And for me, even though as a wing back, Baba Rahman may be better because he offers more offensively, I think that Gideon Mensah is not as bad a player to be able to play that role. And if he's playing on that role, and that's a mistake we've made with Jordan, recent times we've been playing him on the right-hand side. So that balance that he may offer with whoever he's partnering on the left-hand side is not clicking as much as it's supposed to. So for me, I would play, and I made a point on Sports Zone, I would play Jordan as the left side of the front with Iñaki in the middle and Kudus. But I will make Iñaki and Kudus have that freedom to be switching roles because both of them in their club size, they are not natural right wingers, but they have that sort of liberty to move and operate within the right side whilst offering very good defensive balance. Because if you look at Iñaki's defensive stats and you look at Kudus' defensive stats this season, they've offered very, very good balance this season. That would be perfect whilst also accommodating and helping whoever is playing on the left-hand side, be it Hamid, and I think it is going to be Gideon Mensah, to also offer us that compactness. So for me, the key is our defense. If we're able to keep that solid back three, be defensively solid. You have Schindler, who is good enough as a right winger. You have Gideon Mensah, who can thrive. But then when you go to your front men, and especially the midfield, you have a progressor in Ashimeru. If you have your front three who have magic in their legs, look, we can sneak through 1-0. We don't need to be winning 3-0, 4-0 every game. That's not how you go about tournaments. In tournaments, you can't win a tournament without having a compact defense. And for me, Black Stars, what gives us that compact defense is the back three. The back four, our players don't have the profiles to be able to complement each other. And it's not like each of them are bad. But again, before I hang up, Peter's point about Amate is as spot on as he has a lot of experience, but he has never been a leader. Even at Leicester City, he needs a helping hand. He's almost like Rudiger. In the right system, he can thrive. But it doesn't mean that he's been playing for a long time, so he knows how to organize. He doesn't. And even when you watch he and Jiku does more of the organization. So if you leave Amate with Salisu, they are going to struggle because they are good defenders who need a helping hand. For me, play that back three. Even if I was the coach, personally, I would drop Amate and play Nicolas Upoku because of his ability with his feet. I think he's much better than
he's a very good forward passer of the ball.
Very good forward passer. So if you have him on the right hand side of the defense, and you have your with Jiku doing the organization, I think that will give us solid compactness.
Very well.
And also good builder.
Danny, on if whether Mate or Nicolas should play on that right side of the reason why maybe I'll go for Mate is because he's very comfortable going wide because he's played as a right back at times before.
Exactly. So that's
and I find Nicolas maybe not comfortable. No centre back really likes going unless they've got an experience of. The more reason why I would maybe lean towards keeping Amate on the right, Jiku in the middle, and Salisu on the left. But again, Daniel and I are on the same point. But what I make the final thing about the attack is, if you are playing, it looks very likely that Jordan, Iñaki, and Kudus will start. These are three very talented footballers. There is no way anybody can convince me that they cannot be intelligent enough to run around freely in those front three rows. What I don't want them to do is to turn into wingers, where in recent years we've seen Jordan play as a winger for the Black Stars. Iñaki hug the line, he's holding the line, and Kudus is holding the line. They can't thrive. If you're going to use wingers, then our options would be Bukari, Nyama, and Pencil. These are wingers who, when they have the line,
enterprising, quick.
Yes, they would best.
It comes natural to them.
But if you're going to play Jordan, then you might as well play him well. He's not going to hug the line for you. but it's going to give you a good shift as player as a forward. Kudus and Inaki the same. So we've got what it takes to cause problems, but it all has to come together as a collective piece.
That's a very fine point. Thank you very much. I've got some messages here. What I want to do is that I want to actually take some phone calls because we're having a conversation about the Black Stars. I know you have opinions, especially we have almost like 400 people who are listening to us on Twitter Spaces. You have your thoughts and all that, just as much as other people have their thoughts. Eleanor says, hello, guys. Great show by all standards. Good fun. Happy New Year to you all. And then, okay, no problem. Thank you very much, Eleanor, for that message. This one says, good afternoon, guys. A big shout out to Danike, who celebrated his birthday on Tuesday. I'm glad. Okay, where's the rest of the message? He says, I'm glad that, okay, is Jojo messing with my thing or what? No. All right, cool. He says, I'm glad that we share the same birth month, and I want you guys to wish I and my twin brother Johnson a happy birthday, which is tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday to you guys.
Twins?
Happy birthday. Yeah, twins. For the TV right issue, as long as I have GTV, I know I'm sorted. John from Achimota. Okay, this message says, Nito Josintema says, we love the Black Stars. All right, we also love the Black Stars. Thank you for that message. This one says, we will definitely... Okay, somebody's sending a message about Richard Saki in Achimota Bobulu. She says he will not renew his DSTV because of the AFCON thing. All right. This one says, Nana Kwesi, he says, Daniel talking about the same dog who missed Wakaso and others injury, or a different one. It's a different one.
Oh, no.
The one who went to AFCON 2021 was called
I don't know.
Dr. Baba,
Okay,
and this one is called Dr. Pambo.
The interview just ended. Dr. Pambo told me in an interview that he's the last doctor who will ever risk saying that a player will be available after match day 2 or match day 3. If the player is not fit for match day 1,
he's not fit.
going
That's
to take
it.
him.
Simple.
Yeah.
He says, hey, wake up, my brother. So he said you are not serious with the business and profession. So let's be serious. Once take care of our players for you for free, okay? Stop there, Humasoa and Akika Benson from a taxpayer. Well, so now it's been established. The basis of your point in itself was invalid because it was not the same doctor. This one says, good afternoon, guys. The twist tournament depends on Ashmira and Lamte. They have to turn up. No excuses. P. Archer, Milan Pandit, and I didn't talk with that message. And this one says, why are you people mentioning Jordan? I think Joseph Pencil and Bukhari and Nyama give us more than him. Manuel Amaru in Medina. Sicho just made your point for you. So I think he agrees with you. This one says, I wish the Black Stars good luck. Antonio from Wa. Our good friend Sedu Adamo always shipping in with good, valuable contribution. He says it's very difficult to make profit or break even in the AFCON broadcast. This is why GBC and the other TV channels formed the consortium during the AFCON and the World Cup, and they've always relied on the government of Ghana to purchase the right to show the AFCON and World Cup. I represented my TV between 2014 and 2019, and it was only the World Cup that brought some profits in advertisement.
Yeah, only the World Cup does.
And
all
that
the
World Cup was 2018. I remember I was also at the channel that was buying the rights. So.
He says all the AFCON from 2014
And even
all
that
the way
AFCON,
till he left Brazil.
even that World
That World Cup.
Ghana wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, we made money. That one is
Yet,
true. Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
AFCON there is some way.
Interesting. Right. Okay. All right. Anyway, so let me take a few calls. Should I? Yes. Let me take a few calls. All right. The number 030-221-6541, 030-221-6541, and 055-1111-997. Your thoughts on the AFCON squad and all the conversations. We have about 5 minutes or so to wrap it up, so it will be very, very short. 030-221-6541 and 055-1111-997. This is Game Plan on 99.7 Joe FM and 103.9 Hits FM. We have a caller already. Let's go. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from, and just go ahead.
I'm Sinosi calling from Bansaman.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to talk briefly about the Black Stars and then the squad in the upcoming tournament. Well,
yes, please reduce the volume on the radio. It's giving us some really bad feedback, I think. Or just kill it altogether.
okay, so
All right.
is it good now?
Go ahead. Yes, perfect.
Okay, so the squad that Coach Chris has put up, I think that is the best of what we have at the moment. So we will go with that. And I agree with the guys on the fact that we should play a back three because we've really been conceding a lot. And with previous matches that we've played, I think the back three suits us with Salisu back and all.
Yeah.
But my biggest issue with the Black Stars is their commitment level. If these players decide to show up and play, they can go really far in this tournament. We keep seeing them in games that if they go down by a goal and then they all lose focus or they seem uninterested in the game anymore. It is really heartbreaking watching these players look so undisturbed when we've considered or things are not going well in a game.
Yeah, very well.
If they decide to show up,
we'll do well.
Trust me, guys, we'll do well in this tournament.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go to our next caller. 030-221-6541 055-11-11997 030-221-6541 and 055-11-11997. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you doing, guys?
Very well. Your name and then go ahead.
Kingsley, you guys are doing well.
Thank you.
Congratulations for...
Thank you. Go ahead. Oh, that's all you wanted to say. He calls you congratulate us. That's fair. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Thank you.
It is. All right. Let me take one more caller. Actually. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes. Your name and go ahead. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, your name and then go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Kwesi. I'm calling from Accra.
All right, Kwesi, wrap up for me.
Okay, so I think that we always keep talking about how committed these players are. I don't know if you have a way we could measure commitment. I mean, on the pitch, if we are down by a goal, how do you know by looking at the faces of the players and tell they are not committed? Sometimes you make these, I don't want to say allegations, but then there is no clear way of knowing. You have no idea what goes through their mind when they are on the pitch and they are down by a goal. I'm not sure they will be there just to want to play and lose.
Yeah, so I think that's a fair point. Let's
just go ahead and support them,
yes.
Even when you think that per your own assessment. When you look at their face and you think they are not committed, just support, because Charlie, they are. Once they show up, they are committed.
Nobody shows up to lose.
Yes, once they show up to play the ball, they are committed. And then on the formation, I think I agree with you guys. The 3-5, when we play the 3-back, it's always helpful. We should go ahead and then implement that. Thank you so much.
Very well, Kwesi. It's worth reminding all of you, though, that we played 3-back at the World Cup, and in 3 games you conceded 7 goals. So
we played 3-back only in our first game.
Only in the first
only
game.
the first game. So we abandoned it against Korea. Yeah. We abandoned it against Uruguay because Jiku then was dropped.
The first game, 3-back, we considered 3 goals.
No, in the first half we were playing strictly 3-back. In the second half we were a bit expansive after 1-1. But for the Ronaldo penalty was goalless, and that was the only time Portugal went through.
And we looked solid.
We looked solid until the penalty. Once they scored, we wanted to try and equalize. We were expansive, and then they got us.
Very well. Muftawu Nabila Abdullahi, I wish you quick recovery from your cold. That's why I saved you a lot of talking today.
Very necessary.
Yes, very, very necessary. And keep safe. Thank you, Sicho, as well. And thank you very much.
For the save there is very necessary.
For tuning in. Gary Alsmith, of course, also Daniel Cranton joining us on the show. That's been another episode of Game Plan here on 99.7 Joy FM and Hits 103.9. My name is Fentuo. Tahiru Fentuo. We are back same time, 1:15 p.m. next Friday. Until then, take care and bye-bye.